All right, guys, this is Bobby here, and today I want to talk to you guys about selecting the proper weld school for you. I know a lot of people are comparing and contrasting, and that's important. We thoroughly encourage you to come take a tour, check things out. Like some of my best phone calls are when people call me and say, hey, listen, I've done my research and I would like to know more about your program. Nothing speaks to me more, that's a student that I want because they are doing their due diligence to make sure that they're finding the right institution that's going to train them well, and they're making sure we're a good fit, because we're not a good fit for everybody. But today I'd like to talk about comparing and contrasting KWI with your local community college. I'm not trying to pull away from community colleges, but I think when you stack them up, depending on your goals in life, there could be some reasons why you might want to come to KWI instead of a community college. So without knowing what's most important to you, a lot of us anyway, it's time. How long are they going to take me? Because I just got out of high school. I spent 12 years sitting at a desk. I want to work with my hands. I want to go to industry. I want to start making money. KWI is 26 weeks. Like, that's going to be pretty short for you. Six months really. Most community college programs, if they're tying that with your associates, you're looking at 2 years of training there. So depending on where you're at, if you want to condense that down, because these 26 weeks aren't easy. This is not Monday, Wednesday, every other Friday. This isn't a 3-hour class. This is first shift from 6 to 2, second shift 2 to 10, third shift 10 to 6. Like, this is 8 hours, 40 hours a week in your face. In addition, KWI, as long as the doors are open and you clear it with that other shift supervisor, you can weld extra time. So it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. We can do that because not very many students take us up on it. Like, we do have some, don't get us wrong, but for the most part, nobody wants to lock in for 16 hours and pull a double shift. I would encourage it. When you get on that first job, if you're running 7/12s, you don't know if you've got it in you. So I think I would want to train as hard as I could at my school to make sure that I can hold my own when I get out there and it's in front of my boss, and the paycheck is what's on the line. So if time is the issue, KWI is going to give you much quicker return on investment. So yes, it costs more, and we'll get into some of the costs here in a second, but what the community college costs you more of is time spent in the schoolhouse. And if it's 2 years versus 6 months, that's 18 months of lost time in the field that I could have been pulling checks. And KWI, we've got currently 97% job placement. We float around that mark, and currently guys are making $30 an hour. And to timestamp that, we're at the beginning of 2024 right now. But if you could work, 6/10s or 7/12s at that 30 or up mark, and then per diem on top, we've got grads cashing $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a week checks. 18 months of that could put that community college graduate significantly behind. Someone who went to a private weld school, was in and out in 6 months, and then that other 18 months they're in the field making money. So let's get into cost. Obviously, and again, KWI is gonna cost some money, and your community college might be free. And now, free sounds attractive to a lot of people, unless it's something they want to invest in, right? Unless you want to buy a nice truck. I don't think anybody wants a free Duramax. You probably want one that I guess is worth something. Anyway, so the community college can get that done because it's taxpayer money, and you're going to get FAFSA maybe and some Pell Grants, and we'll talk about that because KWI is now accepting that. In addition, at least in Kentucky, there's something called the Work Ready Scholarship, which KWI is pushing to be able to accept as well. But what I'd like to show you right now is that KWI, while it costs something, we can still get that down. So we'll talk real quick about some of the options you have with paying off some of that KWI private tuition money. So with KWI, we are accredited with ASSET and ACCSC, which allows us to take, you can fill out your FAFSA, and we can take your Pell Grants, and that's to the tune of roughly $7,000, give or take. I don't know what your situation is, but that helps out a bunch. If you're in Kentucky, if you're outside, we can help you with this too, but specifically to community colleges in Kentucky. If you're in Kentucky, then you can get WIOA grants, right? KWI can take those as well. So anywhere we see anywhere from, $2,000 to $8,000 as far as what different WIOA, ad development boards are doing. So right away you're seeing a big chip of that KWI tuition coming off the plate. We also do Micro scholarships, we cash a lot of those every year. We also do the AWS. We see a lot of AWS scholarships. Hats off to the American Welding Society and how much money they push to help young individuals trying to get into the industry. So good stuff there. We can take any of your local scholarships. If you're coming out of high school and you have a cattleman's or a farm bureau and you get those local scholarships, of course we can take those. That's not a big deal at all. We can also do Sallie Mae loans now. So if you're looking for, and the Sallie Mae can do they can structure loans, student loans, a couple different ways. You could either start making your payments while you're in school, if you can afford that. You can make interest-only payments while you're in school, or you can defer until you're out of school. I think there's 3 options there, and we have links to that. We have a blueprint, if you will, a checklist that we'll send you, and it does this in order. Of course you should fill out your FAFSA first, and then check for your WIOA grants. And step by step, we show you how you can get funding to come to the Kentucky Welding Institute. And then, of course, we scholarship heavy with our contests. Contests. Yeah, I spelled that right. We're good. Sorry, it's just on the board and everything. We do KWI contests. We have our huge national contests. We do FFA. We do Skills USA. All kinds of scholarships in and out of those youth organizations. Now, if you come to us and you're what we consider a non-traditional, you're not out of high school fresh, you're 25, 30, 40, no big deal. Again, we can come with FAFSA, WIOA grants, Micro, Skills USA, AWS, still do scholarships for what we consider non-traditional individuals. But tons of ways, if you are leaning towards wanting that private, hard-nosed welding school education, you don't have to settle for free at your community college. We can definitely help chip away at that. And then again, think about it. Let's say when you get done with this, you still have, let's just make it a decent sized number. Let's say you couldn't get any of it paid for. Let's say all you could get down is it whittled down to 20 grand. KWI was going to cost you $20,000. All right, and you're thinking, man, well, free. Now that's a big deal. I will tell you that KWI's job placement, as we stand here today, is 97% for the last year, and our guys are averaging in that $30 an hour range, and then per diem as well. So mathematically then, really quick, if a KWI graduate gets out in 6 months, right? 6 months, that means that there's still 18 more months that this individual has to be going to school. So during this 18 months, if our individual if they just go to 40 hours a week, so 30 times 40, that's 1,200 a week. And in 18 months, 52 and 26, let's just go to 70 weeks of pulling down checks. You're looking at $84,000 a head. So let's do our due diligence. Let's subtract our 20 out of that because, again, KWI cost us money, and we've still made $64,000 more than our community college peer, who, now we have a resume with a 1.5 year experience. We're probably going to be able to start vying for some of those higher paying jobs, and we're already $64,000. So now how much did free cost you? It cost you time and definitely some return on investment there. So I would challenge you, I know that cost is important. It would be important in my family, of course, but when we put pencil to paper, your dollars ahead to go to a school that will take care of you, that has a high job placement, that has industry connections, and that can launch you into the career that you're looking for much quicker. Let's do a couple other things real quick. So we talked about time, we talked about cost. Those are important, and they should be. Let's do a couple. I'll just draw a new line altogether. Let's do a couple more things that I think should be important to you guys. Let's talk program real quick. So with KWI, you're getting an AWS accredited testing facility. Now that requires KWI to annually be audited by the American Welding Society, and every 3 years get an inspection where they're going to come in and rifle through our WPSs and our procedures and make sure that we have, of course, CWIs on staff, and KWI has several. We're to the tune of 6 or 8 currently in-house right now, and that's certified welding inspectors who are also certified welding educators. That ought to appeal to your moms and dads right there. But this AWS ATF with CWIs allows us to give you the AWS CW card, the Certified Welder card. And on that card, in our basic combo pipe program, you're going to get 6 certifications. All right? Now, some community colleges, they might be at ATF. I don't know. Several, though, are not. A lot in Kentucky are doing the AWS Sense Level 1, which is a great program. A lot of high schools do it as well. You're reading blueprints, you're doing a lot of coupons. Most of them are to VT. You know, the only thing you're bend testing there is the stick coupon. And that's, again, it's a great starter program. We believe at KWI that the AWS CW card is a much more rigorous industrial feel type of way to go. So we like that to give our students certifications on the way out. Now, you're going to hear other people say, hey, certifications don't matter. It's junk, it's fluff. Well, okay, so, you know, you can get walked right on the job on an AWS code job with, as long as it's, again, coded to AWS, like a D11 job. I could take my CW card that is tested to D11 and I can walk on a job with no test. Now, if I'm going to go to an ASME code job, then yes, I will have to retest. But put yourself in the HR shoes. Would you rather hire a welder who has certifications on the resume? They've already been to an accredited testing facility ran by, in collaboration with the American Welding Society with certified welding inspectors. As an HR person, your job is to line up welders who can pass your test so they can go to work. You don't want all this shuffling and trading of names and paperwork. You don't want to test 50 guys to only get 10 good welders. You would like to be more of a, your batting average be more of a one-on-one. So I think that if I was in the HR seat, I would want to be hiring guys with the CW card. They've already been vetted and verified, tried by fire, so to speak. So our guys are getting the calls. In addition, if you complete our program, that 6 certification package, in less than your 960 hours, you can continue to certify. So it doesn't stop at 6. You can get copper nickel, you can get Inconel, you can get chrome. We actually have a heat treat machine where we can bring it up to temperature and you can weld out on chrome. You can do duplex, super duplex. You can do branch and bell hole. We have several certifications. I think we have 17 WPSs that you can grab. I think the record right now is 12. So an individual came to KWI, completed the 6, and then upgraded with 6 additional certifications on all kinds of crazy alloys. And this gets very special, obviously. Why don't other schools offer duplex or chrome? Why aren't they heat treating? Because it is expensive. It costs a lot of money. Those consumables aren't cheap. And then maybe their instructors can't weld those alloys either. So again, we're gonna let you at it. We're gonna turn you loose there. In addition, we follow the NCCER curriculum. That's the National Center for Construction Education and Research. We have 2 master trainers at KWI. We also, and with that, you're going to get a blue card. You're going to be training as a welder, a boilermaker, a pipe fitter. We have the option to journeyman test you with their silver card program or the gold card, rigger, signal, and crane. We actually take care of the majority of that through NCCCO. That's the National Commission, the National Commission for the Certification of Crane Operators. I apologize. Look that up. Lots of C's in there. But we're going to certify our guys to rig and signal. So they'll be certified rigger and signal persons for cranes. And that's important when you're on the job. You need to know what a 5/8 shackle is or what a web sling is. Those kind of things, you don't want to look that green on a job. And if a crane operator, your fitter tacks it up, you're in the jack stands, you got it all welded up, and now they need someone to help fly this thing up. I'm sure your employer, your company, your contractor would appreciate the fact that you're certified to do so. Those kind of things are adding more and more employable tools in your 7-gallon. In addition, we're also going to do the ASHI first aid and CPR. So you'll be certified to give CPR, first aid, and use an AED. Again, safety is big. You're going to get an OSHA 30, an MSHA 24. You're going to get a TWIC card. That's the Transportation Workers Identification Card. Again, we get some haters on our social media that say, hey, that's useless. Well, evidently they've never welded in a refinery. TWIC cards are important. And a Basic Plus, and you're going to hear that often too when you get out in industry, Basic Plus. We also, there's a plus symbol, I apologize for my writing. In addition, we're going to drug test you. In some places, that's a CCS toxicology card. You're going to come to us on day 1 at orientation. Before you even sign your paperwork, we're going to mouth swab you and make sure you're straight coming in. We want you to know that we take our job seriously and we want to cull the herd. If you're about that life, we don't want you at KWI. point blank. Sorry if that hurts your feelings or whatever, call us conservatives or whatever you want, but we don't care. We're trying to get you a job in industry. To get a job in industry, you have to be able to pass a drug test, so that's where we're at. We're all about shaping you into what industry considers employable, and industry doesn't want to hire drug heads, so go somewhere else. We're going to piss test you at month 2, 3, or 4. We're going to pull hair on you month 5 and 6. So by the time you get through KWI, you'll have taken about every drug test that you'll see in industry, and you'll know exactly, you'll know what it's about. And that's what we're trying to do, is knock the green off of you so you know what life is like in the real world. Now again, I don't know where your community college is on all this other stuff, so that's up to you. Because I don't know where you're at in the state of Kentucky or your state. I don't know what your community colleges do, but I would definitely do a T-chart, and I would stack up what KWI offers versus what your community college offers. Now, a couple other things we'll just take on our T-chart here. Where are you at as far as what else is important to you? Maybe location is important to you. So heck yeah, your community college is going to be close to you. That's awesome. Maybe. I can see some negatives to something being too close. First of all, if you're in your hometown, you're doing what you always did, you're going to get what you always got. So you're hanging out with your same crowd, you're cruising I don't know, for us it's a BP or an Arby's, or hanging out at the hospital, high school type stuff. If you don't get away from that, maybe you keep doing those things in your own hometown. In addition, what kind of networking are you doing? In Kentucky, if I go to a community college, then I'm going to school with students that are right around me. Like essentially the same students I played football against, or I wrestled against, or played basketball against. I'm really not making a network, connections that are going to matter or have a ripple effect, bigger out in industry. So with KWI, yes, we're far away. I don't know where you live, but we're probably not in your hometown, okay? But you're wanting to be a traveling combo pipe welder. So again, I'm going to challenge you. If you wanted to be a traveling combo pipe, why not start your career by traveling to the best option for you? Again, I'm biased, but I truly think that we do a good job at what we do. Travel far away, come to the Kentucky Welding Institute, and when you do, you're going to be going to school with people from Texas, from Georgia, from Oregon, from Florida. And how much better are you networked when you graduate and all those students, they go back to their hometowns and they get on jobs, but they remember going to school with you. And when they need some extra help, they're going to be giving you a call. So the networking is so much better. And in addition, like you think, well, we're going to come in the spring and fall. Like you don't even start you don't graduate with the same 30, 40, 50 people on your shift as you did when you started. We bring new students in, every 2 weeks. And every 2 weeks, there are students graduating. So in the span of time you're at KWI, you'll probably have made 100 connections with different people from all over the U.S., and that will be powerful. We also have a Facebook group where you can connect with grads who, our original grads back in 2015. I mean, that's constantly being cross-talked. Lots of alumni are constantly putting up jobs on that Facebook group so that our young guns can pick that up. So we think it's actually a benefit to come to a school where you don't know anybody. You're making connections, and those connections are from all over the place, helping you cast a bigger net when you go out to work. What about instructors? I think it's important that you consider, or maybe ask, what kind of work did you do out in the field? I don't want to be trained to be a pipe welder from somebody who hasn't welded pipe. I would find that a little hard to believe. So with KWI, and I'm not saying maybe you've got a great community college instructor. I'm just asking you to do your due diligence. What kind of work did they do, and how long ago was that? How long ago was that? At KWI, you're going to get fresh instructors that were combo pipe welders. These guys have been in boilers, refineries, paper mills, nuclear power plants. They've been up and down. They've been on new construction. They've been all across the United States. And our instructors don't just check into the schoolhouse and then forget about industry. Our instructors are still popping on their tools. They're still taking jobs in the field. Here, as we stand today in early 2024, we just had one of our instructors go out and work a spring outage as a CWI, but then they ran short on hands. He went ahead at the end to clean stuff up and test it in. Not only was he QCing, but he was welding as well. And so again, our instructor, and then again, the outage ended, and he came right back into KWI, brought that fresh industry perspective into the schoolhouse. So you know, our students are getting advice, experience, education from respected industry experts, not you know, professionals, not somebody who's been at the schoolhouse a little too long, or this is their retirement job as they ease on into, you know, the golden years. We don't have any desks out in our shop. You know, our instructors, you know, are walking the floors with you. There's no place for them to settle down, or you to have to go find them with their feet kicked up. You know, we are in the weld with you. You know, on the floor, outside, wherever that's at. Let's go real quick to job placement. Again, as we sit today and do your research, we'll update on our website so you can always find it for us. But we've had 97% in the last 12 months. We've had 100% in the last 6 months as we stand here today, and we're averaging $30 an hour. And honestly, that's, you know, we have several guys that are making much more than that. And obviously on the other end, if that's the average, then we've got guys that are making less than that. But I would ask your community college, and it would be nice to see them print that, you know, because if they're just saying that, then it doesn't mean as much. You know, our accreditation, ASSET, ACCSC require us to back this up. You know, if we're going to say that, then it has to be provable. And you can definitely check us out and vet us. It's going to be up to date. At KWI, you're also going to get lifetime, as long as KWI's doors are open, right? That's the caveat. I guess if we're out of business, we can't keep you free brush up, but we're going to give you lifetime brush up, which means anytime you want. You get 2 weeks a year. So you graduate, you go out and work a year, and maybe that was all 60-10, 70-18. And now the next job you've lined up is a TIG job. You need to brush up. You need to practice a little bit, you know, turning some 6G, putting a root in, so you can come back and get up to 2 weeks per year for the lifetime of Kentucky Welding Institute. So we're going to take care of our grads. You're also going to get that same deal with job placement. So again, we talked about that Facebook group. But instructors, you know, Blake Hawkins, for example, we've got an app that we keep in contact with all of our grads, and as KWI gets contractors calling us, we post those jobs on that app. So in addition to the Facebook group, when you're networked with all KWI grads, we also have an app where Kentucky Welding Institute is still pushing out jobs and offers. So we're trying to take care of you, you know, your entire career. So really looking forward to making sure that your career is successful. It doesn't stop when you graduate at the Kentucky Welding Institute. Again, I don't know. Maybe your community college does that as well. But check them out. Again, do your due diligence. There'll be few things in life that are as important as your education and your skill set. All right. So I think I challenge you to invest in yourself. Take the time. Go through the hard. Choose your hard. Like, go to a place that's going to challenge you and push you so that you can get those jobs that are going to, you know, pay the bills down the road. You don't want to go to a place that's easy and complacent, lax, doesn't take attendance. You know, we're hard on attendance. We're going to toss you if you drop below 90% attendance because we can't employ guys. We can't get guys jobs if they miss every other Friday. Like, that's not what an employer is digging right there. Now, some places, I don't know, maybe your community college is easier on you as far as showing up on time, locking in, and going to work. But at KWI, again, we're going to treat you like an employee. We're going to treat you like a welder in the industry, and we're going to be, you know, hold you to a certain standard. If that's not you, we're okay with that. At least now you know, and go ahead and go to a different institution. But if you are what we would consider a cut above, then maybe look us up. Come take a tour. Start with the T-chart back at the house. Do your research, and just make the best decision for you. KWI will not be the best decision for everyone. We're okay with that, and actually that's what we want. We want you to find the place that is best for you. So do your homework. Check us out, stack us up, maybe do your own T-chart. Give us a call if you're interested, and we'll talk it out. But that's KWI and your local community college stacked up. Thank you.
So hopefully you guys like this video. We'll be putting out more videos on our YouTube channel, so subscribe to that. And also Check out our website. We have links and we also have shop for clothing and a virtual tour. Until next time, see you there.